It's not what we do, it's the place we do it from. Ambition and hunger for growth is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing if it comes from a sense of deficit and need to prove ourselves as good enough. Because the idea that you're not good enough and you need to prove yourself is a myth, it's an illusion, it's a lie, which means no amount of accomplishments will get you there, no amount
Yeah.
of growth in the business. You'll never get to the place where the achievement means that you're good enough because the problem doesn't exist in the first place. Curiosity is a great place for it to come from. It's like, oh, I wonder how we can double this business. Ooh, I wonder. And that's a great place to be. The only dark side of growth is when we don't have choice and we don't have the comfort with being in one place. If we're doing it to avoid being still, then it controls us and we're doing it to avoid something else,
Yeah.
which means it's compulsive, which means we'll never be free. We have to be totally good with who we are, where we are, and want and have this curiosity and drive and hunger to explore. So it's more of an exploration rather than a dependence. Because when we operate like that, then we're just playing to play. We're not playing to not lose or playing to win because like we're just playing. I'm just having fun. Business is a game, life is a game, but I need to be able to be still with myself. So your addiction is not to growth. The addiction is the inability to be still with the experience inside. The growth and the hunger is not the problem. It's just a resistance to being with what's here now. That's just another tool to avoid this, which creates a dysfunctional relationship. But if I'm not avoiding this, I'm like totally fully being with this. And I'm like, yeah, I wonder what else I could do. Then it's healthy. Now, everything I'm saying applies to once you're not in a situation that's not good for you. So the caveat is sometimes it does make sense to change the structure of the situation you're in. Like if someone's in a abusive relationship, yes, they can keep doing work to be okay with being in the abusive relationship, but actually what's more in their best interest, what's in alignment is no, this is not a representation of how I want to be treated. So I'm gonna change the situation. I'm no longer gonna put myself in this situation.
Yeah.
So changing the present is not always a bad thing. You realize you're like, this relationship doesn't serve me anymore. It served a purpose for a period of my life, but where I am and where I want to go doesn't align with me. So it's not so straightforward. We can't just say, oh, the growth is bad or the growth is good. Sometimes for some part of your day, it could come from curiosity and it's genuine, and it's beautiful, and that's great. And maybe at the end of the day, it comes from a desire to like, fuck, I have all of these feelings inside. Like, I don't know what to do with this. This is a very nuanced experience, and we get to rebuild the sense of self. It's like, okay, how do I want to live my life? Who do I want to be? Like, what's important to me? What are my values? What's the place that I want to operate from in terms of growth? Where do I want to create growth and where am I actually really happy with how things are? So the balance is a lot of this is actually neurochemistry, right? So serotonin is the neurotransmitter of enough. So serotonin is, oh my God, I feel so grateful. I, I have a body. I'm mostly healthy. I've created so much goodness in my life. There's so much to be grateful for that's already here. That's serotonin. Dopamine is wanting that something that's far away, that's not here.
Mm.
So that's the neurotransmitter of the chase, of the hunt.
Yeah.
And that requires us to discount what is here.
Yeah.
So when we operate from a dopamine dominance, we're always seeing what's here as insufficient that something's missing, and the thing that will fill the hole here is over there,
Yeah.
because that's how we evolved from an evolutionary perspective. If we didn't operate like that, there would be no drive or desire to hunt,
Right.
right? Because hunting is energetically very expensive. So for our ancestors to focus their vision and find the energy and track animals and fight, we were gifted this mechanism where we see there's a kind of hunger. That's why when people fast, their cognition improves because there's an absence of food. And so our evolutionary wiring says, oh, okay, something's missing here. We need to go mobilize our resources to capture, conquer. We don't want to be too much in dopamine dominance, because if we have too much dopamine dominance, what happens is that we're never satisfied. We don't celebrate anything. We don't feel much gratitude. We're always seeing insufficiency. We always see something missing, both in our situation, in ourselves. Nothing's ever good enough, and no amount of accomplishment is good enough. So whatever we hunt, kill, achieve, whatever, nothing really fills the hole. If we have too much serotonin dominance, then we're just sitting back, grateful, blissed out, feeling so content with everything here. There's no drive, there's no motivation, there's no hunger, there's no desire to create something, to make something happen, right? So what we want is the middle, it's the balance. We want to feel grateful for what we have, and we want to feel a hunger and desire to create something that hasn't been brought into form yet.
Mm.
And for an entrepreneur, that's the best place to be,
Yep.
right? Because that keeps us in a state of harmony. When we're off balance, then a whole host of compensatory mechanisms start getting created to manage this imbalance.